When you're first starting out art, the very first thing most artists tell you to do is to use references. Obviously, this is one of the most important things, considering you need something to base your drawing on if you ever want to draw the thing you want in your head. But what if you want to draw from imagination? Try to the paper without any guidelines nor references. Well, don't worry, cause I got you. Once I show you the power of this skill, trust me, you will thank me. Just trust me, okay? Alright, so when it comes to observing, the thing that I really gotta emphasize with this is that I think there are two ways in doing this. But depending on your goals, it may or may not damage your process or your art career. The first one is by understanding how the reference works. Essentially breaking down the reference in simple shapes there and then, or trying to imagine that same shape in any angle whatsoever. The second is just copying the reference line by line. This is mostly the method most artists who uses the grid method uses, so they can get a very accurate drawing of the reference they're using. Now, again, depending on your goals, this may or may not affect your journey since both have their own pros and cons. They're both not bad. Don't make me repeat myself, I swear to God. Hello there. Okay, y'all did not expect a face reveal, did you now, huh? Did you now? I'm gonna do a quote-unquote proper face reveal by the end of this video since y'all voted for it. And also that was just not a good way to present my face. Whatever that shit was. And yeah, I'll do it later by the end of the video since I have a video to work on. Have a video to do. I'm a professional YouTuber, you know that, right? Dude, I haven't uploaded it once. Alright, so as for the first one, understanding the reference is what I usually go with since I want to make original drawings with original characters and eventually my own manga. Hopefully someday. So this method of observing is really crucial for me. It all goes down to breaking down a reference into simple shapes or forms that I could comprehend myself. And let me give you an example here, okay? A head. It's complex, really damn complex, but to simplify it further, I could either use a box or a circle. Then once I essentially put it into a shape, I could then rotate that said shape into different angles just from my imagination. Since that shape represents the head itself, I could then draw the details afterwards even if the reference I'm using isn't on the same angle. Essentially what I meant by this is when it comes down to imagining something, imagining the complex shape would be a terrible idea considering the amount of forms it has. Do you want to imagine every single details of the face? No, hell no. To make it simpler, I simply just imagine a simple box or a circle since you could pretty much obviously rotate a box and a circle pretty easily in your own head. Now, this does require some knowledge about, seeing shapes in 3D as sometimes most beginners cannot comprehend that yet. But trust me, in a few practice there and then, you'll eventually understand it fully. This is kinda hard considering that you're drawing in some kind of two-dimensional paper or canvas, but you'll get it someday, okay? I'm not gonna explain it. By doing this method, I'm also building my visual library, considering that the more I do this, the more I get to memorize the shapes it has. And when I want to draw a head, even if I don't have a reference at all, I am able to do so since no one forgets how to draw a square or a circle, dude. So low-key, if you do, you might just be stupid as fuck, man. This is also why references are crucial if you ever plan to draw from imagination. Look, I get some people wanna be like Kim Jong-gi or be a true artist but not using references. But if you're a beginner trying to do that, then you're hiking just stupid as hell, not gonna lie. Because how the hell are you gonna imagine something you haven't even observed or seen properly for 100 times before? Even if you've memorized one part, or for example, you've memorized a head, that doesn't mean you've essentially knew how to draw everything else. You gotta build your visual library in order to draw anything from imagination. If you wanna draw a simple object like a chair from your head only, then you have to look at a chair 100 times or so to really put it in your head. It's that serious. So please, I'm actually begging, use references if you want to draw from imagination, okay? Just an extra note here, some of y'all might have the question of how do you know if you're ready to start drawing from imagination? As in how do you know if you're ready to just not use references anymore for a certain reference? It's kind of like this in some way. Essentially when you're trying to draw a character, a fun art, or maybe just trying to draw a character from your favorite series there and then, when you're drawing their design, the very first time you draw them at least, you're looking back and forth on their design and to your drawing to see if it's accurate as much as possible, right? You don't want to accidentally make your own OC drawing another character, man. But after you draw that character, it will retain in your mind for a bit. Then you draw it for the second time. You still look back and forth. But you do remember some things there then, or like where the necklace is, how the ears look, if they're an elf or not, you know what I mean? Then the third, the fourth, the fifth, the more you draw that same character, the more it's gonna stay in your mind and essentially become muscle memory at that point. And then like say someone asks you to draw that character, even if you don't have reference, you could still draw the character with all that details just in your head alone because you've drawn them so many times. That's kind of what I mean by, you know, observing a reference 100 times or so, and then after a while those details will become muscle memory to your mind itself. And another thing here, the practice I recommend that I did a year ago or something is that I drew only with a ball pen for like a month or so, and I'm just gonna say right away, I made a lot of mistakes, not gonna lie, but it still did make me learn so many damn things by only drawing with a pen. I know, it's hard, you know, it's only a pen, you can't erase. But that's the point, you can't erase. You really have to think through the lines, and you're pretty much forced to observe your references in order to draw the thing you want as accurately as possible. But also allow yourself to make mistakes, you know. I'm not saying that as in like freely just do mistakes or whatever. No, don't do that, okay? You're gonna make so many mistakes. I'm saying it as in like, even if you focus on something really damn well, even if you think you got it in your head, the moment you put your pen in that paper, either way it's a 50-50 chance or whether or not you're going to make a mistake or if it's accurate. And if it's a mistake, allow yourself to accept that mistake. Don't be discouraged just because you made one mistake. Don't, okay? Don't. Because you're only going to demotivate yourself to the point where you don't even practice drawing with a pen anymore or pretty much draw anymore. So allow yourself to make the mistake, move on, and just try to do it again. The best thing you can do is to pretty much just get back up on it. Essentially, drawing with a pen only forces you to observe the reference really crucially. So after a certain while, your observation skills will eventually grow to the point where you'll get used to observing a reference enough to draw it as accurately as possible. Now for the second method itself, in just my own humble opinion, again, my opinion right here, okay? I don't really recommend this unless if you're like trying to copy the reference one by one, but it still does have its own benefits, okay? This method is essentially if I took my arm as a reference and just copied it line by line. It's not technically tracing, but like you're copying the lines just one by itself. This could give you like some really damn accurate drawings, but like in return, you don't really gain the knowledge behind it. Now for the benefits itself, in my own opinion, this is really useful if you're like trying to study a specific art style or how an artist draws. Like for example, JJK or Gagayako Tami's art style, right? If you ever wanted to copy the way he draws his hands or eyes, then all you gotta do is literally just copy the panels whereon he did those. It's essentially like you're tracing back the steps he did when he drew all of those. And the more you do this, the more you copy this, the more it'll be ingrained in your own art style. It'll essentially become muscle memory from then on. Same goes with like trying to study a running style and overall just any other style, because like as I said earlier, you're tracing back the steps they did themselves and you're essentially learning from them by copying their art. And now those are the two methods I wanted to mention in this video. Again, they're both not bad, but in my own opinion, the best method you could use is still the first method, which is essentially just trying to observe how something, a reference, works, and then just trust me, it will improve your art. That's what I wanted to say. Anyways, face reveal. Just pretend you didn't see my face in that video. Yeah. Hey guys, I'm so shy. I don't have a mask. So just pretend it's a mask. I'm so shy. That type of shit. 3, 2, 1. Fuck. 3, 2, 1. Do you all see it? I don't think y'all see it.